What's up, everyone? We are back at it again with another day of Tuck Beck Fitness and another day in our religion. Now, today I've been thinking about how hard it is to fall down and want to get back up, but no matter what you go through and no matter how difficult the situation, you just gotta push yourself to get back up every single time, and 10 times better than when you fell down. So fall down 7, get up 8, fall down 777, get up 778, tenfold. So you've got to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to be the best version of yourself, and prove to yourself that you can succeed, achieve those goals, and prove to those that don't believe in you that you indeed have what it takes to achieve. Let's get to work. So one of the things you might want to ask yourself is, what caused you to fall in the first place? How can you prevent it from making you fall again? It might be something as simple as your family members, trusting the wrong people, doing the wrong exercises at the gym, easier things like that. Or it might be something that you have to like 2 steps back and actually think about, something that you might not really think would affect you in such a hard way, and you need to make sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes, because the more you fall, the harder it is to get back up in some scenarios of life. For example, the first time you trust the wrong person, it might be a little easy to bounce back up. But if you forgive them and keep trusting them, next time you fall down, it's going to be harder. I can promise you that, learned by experience, and so on and so forth. The longer you go without learning from your mistakes, the harder it is to truly bounce back up. So you got to take 2 steps back, think about what really caused you to fall down. Don't go blaming it on stuff that did not make you fall. You cannot play the blame game, especially whenever it comes to working out. You blame the wrong thing whenever it comes to working out in the gym, it's going to lead you to have worse results or be out of the game longer. For example, like the wrong muscle, the muscle that caused you to have the injury in the first place, you're going to end up ripping it, tearing it, maybe even breaking a bone. Might even cause you to be out of the game for like years, whenever you could have took 2 steps back, went to the doctor, and been like, hey, what's causing XYZ? Like, hey, with this particular muscle, like, oh, let me take it easy on that one, let me go into therapy, let me not cause it to literally tear and put me out of the game. It's always easier to think smarter instead of coming to some certain conclusions you do not want to cross. It's going to be an ultimate nightmare. You don't want it happening to you. I don't even want it happening to you. So always play it safe. On to the next set. Now, another question that I want you to ask yourself is, what is the best way for you to recover? And depending on the type of situation, depends on the type of answer. And it might be anything from like a self-care day to a certain thing like affecting your personal lifestyle, or it might be therapy to a certain thing that might have happened whenever you were focused on your bodybuilding journey. It always depends on the type of thing that made you fall down to the type of thing that's going to affect how you are going to get back up. And it's always best to take 2 steps back and make sure that answer is the correct answer, instead of jumping to conclusions, jumping to the wrong answer, and in the end, hurting yourself for the worse, making yourself take 2 steps even farther back than you would have in the first place. Let's get in another set. Oh yeah, and one more thing, lightweight. Personally though, no matter what the situation, I always think a really good gym sesh is gonna be the answer. On to the next set. So one other thing that I want you to think about is what has caused you to fall down in the past. As in, for what would you do differently to make sure that those situations in life wouldn't have affected you? And you can think back as far as your childhood. You can think back as like soon as yesterday. There is no wrong answer. And I just want you to reflect on what you could have potentially done differently to make sure that those situations in life would not have affected you to fall. If you did not get back up, you can reflect on how you would have gone back up. You can even reflect on how you would have gone back up differently. It's all about taking what has happened in your life and turning it into a lesson rather than looking at it as a failure. Because in all reality, nothing in life really is a failure if you take it as a lesson. Everything's just to be learned from, and you gotta let those situations take you and teach you how to move on forward in life. Another thing that you may or may not really thought about is how you can help those that have fallen down around you. How you can look up your friends, family, or even a stranger and help them up in situations that they have fallen down. Situations that they might not want to pick themselves back up, may have fallen down 7, and 7's too many times for them, don't want to stand up that 8th time. Now it's going to take is you to help them up to that situation. And in life, it be like that sometimes. The average person can't get back up by themselves. They're going to need a little help, whether it's from friends or family or a complete stranger. Sometimes even a personal therapist. Sometimes personal trainer. It's never a limit of who can help you. It is the question of who is best to help you in a said situation. So you want to take 2 steps back, look at the situation that you put yourself in, or life has put you in, and ask yourself, who is the right person to help me get back up? Who's the right person that's going to help me bounce back from this lesson that life is trying to teach me? Make sure I don't have to go through this lesson again. Make sure that I don't get hurt even worse next time. Make sure there is no next time. Make sure this time is the last. I'll learn from it. On to the next set. And one thing that's gonna make sure that you don't fall into any like setbacks or like hurting yourself in the gym is the proper exercising. You wanna make sure that whenever you go to the gym, you're working out the proper muscles and then doing the proper sets every single day. If you're doing the wrong types of workouts or hitting the same exact muscle like day after day without like giving any rest sets, any time to recover in between, then you're only setting yourself up for failure. In that case, it's not about giving 100%. It's about 3 R's, and that's going to be rest, recovery, relaxation. Whenever you're pushing yourself to the limits, that's literally the last thing on your mind. The last thing that you're actually going to care about. You do not care about rest or recovery. You just want to make sure that you're going to do whatever it takes to be a bigger and better version of yourself tomorrow. It's not always focusing about the bigger and better version of yourself. It's about making sure what can you do in order to give your body what it properly needs in order to become a better version of yourself in the long run. Not about just the end of today, not about just the end of tomorrow. You want to look in the long run, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You do to make sure that you absolutely become the best version of yourself. On to the next set. All right. So one last thing that I want to talk about today is what can you do to make sure in the future, from here on out, you do not fall down. That's the main goal. And there's several ways that you can make sure about that, such as everything from learning from past lessons, and you can take those lessons and make sure that those never happen to you again. Or you can take care of like observations from like friends to certain scenarios at your job, or even certain things happening at the gym, and take those scenarios into effect and be like, this is how they could knock me down, but this is how I'm going to prevent it. Because often in life, you want to do your best to make sure that you are standing tall and firm before you ever even get knocked down in the first place. And I'm not saying that it's going to prevent every time. I'm just saying that it's going to help you not get knocked down as much in the long run. And maybe, just maybe, if you take into observation of what's going to knock you down in the first place, once it knocks you down, it's going to be easier to even stand back up from, even easier to recover from, and even easier to make sure that it does not indeed knock you down again. So, knock down 7 times, get up 8. Every time you get knocked down, make sure you get it back up. And please, please, if you need help, ask. Not every scenario in life can you get back up from by yourself. It never hurts to ask for help. See you next time, friends.